हेलो। वालेकुम अस्सलाम। सुना जानी। बेहतरीन। तो बता ना। हाँ ना, तो बता ना कब आ रहा तू। ये मैं हूँ। ना यार। ओ। हो शिट ये रहा। मैं तो चिल था, मैंने कहा यार के तो देख ले कितनी। मेरे पास तो भी पता है, 3-4 रहते हैं ना। तो हाँ, बस ठीक है, मुझे फिर एक ही पकड़ा दी, बाकी रख ले। तेरे स्टोरी नहीं किया तूने तो। अच्छा। हाँ हाँ। हाँ ना। चल बेहतरीन है। हाँ, बेहतरीन है, बेहतरीन है, मुझे बस बता। ओके ओके। ओके ओके। नो प्रॉब्लम। ओके देख। ओके। या अच्छा। Scalpedy said hi. Hi, Scalpedy. Scalpedy said. It's an overall range. I have a good as target that is the monthly volume imbalance. We are 60 points away from this target. That is a reasonable target. We are above 20 period moving average on the 15 minutes. We are above this PD50 line. We have closed above this previous PD50 line, which is a form of a support. If everything aligns, I'll be more than happy to go long targeting the monthly open. Today is the first day of the month, 1st October. So the new monthly candle started from this point. The previous day high was the previous day high was the high of the month. This high is the high of the month, and this point now something wrong with this. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. It is supposed to be here, not the current candle. Let's come back to the 15 minutes. Yes, it makes more sense now. So we are above the PVD50 line. We are above all of this range. As we stay above this range, it's an indication of a bullish price action. If this range holds, which it might, because we already have wicked to this point, even if we get a closing to this or within this range, it doesn't really makes it a bearish price action. I need the price to close below this week or the weekly open for me to be interested in shorting this. I'll If I go short, I'll be aiming for 24,434. And the upside target is the monthly open. So now it all depends on whether we are going to stay above this blue box or below this blue box. So as we are above this blue box, I'm more interested in taking a long. On the cues, we are going to open below the 20 period moving average on the hourly time frame. Let's see if we can open below or above this point. 36 seconds left. This line is a reference for hourly 20 period moving average. We are opening below that hourly period moving average. The next thing I'm looking for, if we get an opening below this point, I'll be looking for whether the first 5 minutes or the first 15 minutes will close below this level or above this point. If it closes above this point, that is telling me that bulls are in control. They are not as weak. The white box is representation of the monthly opening gap. The first 15 minutes. Now I'm closely watching whether the price will stay above or below this red line, which is 536. I'll mark the New York open line first leg, second leg, first leg, second. I'm paying attention to whether we are staying above or below the hourly period moving average. This is the target. Let's see how the first 5 minutes close. If the first 5 minutes closes right at where my target is, then it's not that favorable of a trade. On the cues, we are gapping below the 20 period moving average. Can I buy the close of the first 5 minutes close? I can. Man, this is bad. We have news at 10 o'clock. PMI manufacturing. Well, we have reached the target on the first without like in the first 4 minutes. Now I have to need to like find out new targets. That was the monthly open, right? And it was reasonable target, but still, as we stay below 616, this target will still be valid. All I need now is let's see how the first 5 minutes closed. It's a big candle. It's a big candle. I need the price to basically stay above the moving average, to basically close two more candles below 616, which is highly unlikely. Then I can target 616, right? Even at the start of the day, I knew that was the target, but you cannot frame a good risk to reward, even knowing the direction. So I'm only allowed to engage once the first 15 minutes are closed. And in these conditions where it reaches to the target in the first 4 or 5 minutes, I cannot do anything about it. Anyways, let's see. Let's see and hope for the best. If we stay below 616, why am I interested in 616? It's a reasonable target. It it equates to weekly open on the cues. You see this dotted line, the weekly open. It is back to the moving average. A lot of confidence is with that point. Oh, now we have touched that. Yeah. As long as we are above this blue box, overall it says it's more 60% to 70% more bullish than it's bearish. But framing a good risk to reward ratio is a different thing. The first two candles are strong, bullish candles. The next candle is about to close in 2 minutes. We are retesting the moving average on the 5 minutes. QQQs. Can I buy the close of the second bar? If I were to buy the close of the second bar, that will be equal to a stop entry by right around this resistance point. So my obvious stop will be below the opening. This, this will be the reasonable stop loss placement area. If I place my stop loss at 521, I'll be risking by default 90 points. So in order for me to make one reward, I'll have to target 701, which is above the previous day high. So this can be the next target. Either I'll use this as a standard deviation as a whole, or once the 15 minutes close, I can use basically the generic setup which I use every day. Half of the length of the first 15 minutes. So the first 15 minutes overall is like 98 points in total. So I'll be risking 50 points to gain 50 points, hypothetically, right? So stop loss hypothetically will be placed. uh, It's on the basis of the assumption that we are staying below this point, or the high of the 50 minutes will remain the high of the 50 minutes, right? So in that case, 668 will be the next target. It's not bad. We do have a confluence right around 668. I, okay, this is interesting. Okay, this point. Now these areas becomes relevant. For example, this is inefficient. This price is inefficient, right? Do we have another inefficiency? So generally, we have two or three confluences right around 642. The next bar is closed. I'll try to buy this now. And target will be by the close of this bar. I have to be very careful. We are right at the monthly open. So now I have two things to think about. For example, if something goes wrong, let's suppose if I buy the close of the second bar and the 15 minutes is not closed, I'll blame if something goes wrong, like I should have waited for the first 15 minutes, right? Because that's the back tested data on the basis of which if I trade or if I front run, I just have 4 minutes left. So it's better to stick to the plan. Let's the first 15 minutes close, then I'll take this trade. So, okay. On the cues, what's going on the cues? We are right at the 50% of the monthly opening gap and the moving average. We are touching the moving average on the 5 minutes. That on the cues, it's more of like we got two complete bars below the moving average. That makes it an always in short. So it will be much better if we move above the weekly open and the 20 period moving average and give me a closing of some sort, even on the smaller time frame. That is enough of a validation for me to go long, target somewhere here. Frame a good 1 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Okay, this line represents overly 20 period moving average. So I do have another confidence. The other confidence is this: do you really think that this price will stay the high of the month? No. So I can target 500, 650. Let's mark this point. This is the open of the month, the new candle of the month. This is the high of that month, right? And we basically purged a lot of liquidity. So these two can be important targets. Just let's just stick to the close target because that makes it a high probability. Targets are not that important. Framing a good risk to reward within a context is really important. Did we take out the low of the second bar? We took out the low of the second bar. Yeah, we did. Now what I'm gonna do is mark the opening range gap. Oh, yeah, yeah. Opening range gap. Now I'm going to place an order. The moment we get a closing, even on the 1 minute above 619, I'll go long, right? I'll go long somewhere here. My risk on this trade will be 49 points. 40. Oh god. So negative risk to reward. Shit happens in ranges, bro. Oh, does not look really good. Man, this is a lot of cope. A lot of cope. Because we opened right around this point. My initial target was this. So we reached the target. Now I'm coping with higher targets. So this is what it is. Even if I, for example, make this small target, still it's a negative risk to reward ratio. The trade hasn't triggered yet, obviously, but you know, Let's just say we were to aim for 47 points, right? My one risk to reward ratio 47, yeah, somewhere here. 49, 40, yeah, exactly this point, which is equal to what? It's far-fetched, man. The trade is not triggered yet. I'm obviously we got a closing above the prior candle high on 9:30. That makes it more bullish on the 15 minutes. I'm looking to buy the market, but I'm just concerned about the targets and risk rewards. I'm not confused about direction in any sense because I have criteria. For example, this blue box is a reference point, and this red line is a reference point. We are above this reference point, that makes it bullish. If we go below this reference point, I'm not interested in buying it at least. So, okay, this price action what we are seeing here is normal and this should happen. Reason, it's a big resistance point. It's a big resistance point, and one of the best thing that happened right now, it never faked out, right? It never faked me out. Sometimes what it does is basically triggers the entry, then right to the stop loss. So let's see. As long as we are within this range, the first 15 minutes, I'm not interested in trading or I'm not allowed to trade within this range because obviously I'm not trading back and forth, right? So I'll consider the first 15 minutes as a broad range. As long as we are not expanding beyond that range, I'm not interested in taking a risk to reward or framing a risk to reward. Let's see what's going on the cues. The 520 period moving average is responding strong. Let's see if we get in closing below. Okay, I can take a shot. I can if the price goes below this point, I can easily take a shot, aiming for 50 points. Okay. Once the price will move below this point, give me a closing. Yeah, closing. My risk on this trade will be 49 points. I'll be it's, reasonable. This is reasonable. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I understand. Oh, I forgot about the fucking news, man. Anyways, a trade is a trade is a trade is 49.50. Within the next 10 minutes, we have news. I am not basically, I'm not full port in. I have to be careful with my lot sizing around this point. It can just crush me. I'm trading one fourth of my lot right around this point. It's not the best trade in the world, but still, I have to execute on the things I've back tested. Bro, bro. If I lose here, I'll be losing basically one fourth of the normal lot size. Symbols. The symbols got us closed below the 5 minutes. We got a closing below the 5 minutes. Acha, we got a closing above on the 9:35. Immediately got a closing below 9 at 9:45. What is it telling me? It's telling me that this is going to be a range. So to be careful not to fight the range and identify when it's a range, not fight it. So if it knocks me out now, I'll wait once the news is over, then I'll take a trade. I was more interested in taking a long as, but still, that's the main reason I am not like invested more in it. My lot size is tight. We are testing the monthly open and the New York Open. These, let's see, it's going on the 5 minutes. Okay, this is if this was not a range, this is a perfect setup. We got a closing below this range on the 5 minutes, but but we have to be very careful with 9:30 candle and 9:45 candle. These are basically a closing above, immediately closing below, indicating a range. But otherwise, this price section, what happened here was perfect. If we got a closing on the 5 minutes, that's the biggest indication. We are retesting this N VOG. The only thing I'm not interested in is basically to fight the range. Yesterday was a range. I saved myself a lot of money. I was trying, like, basically, I executed two trades and they were not going in my favor, and I basically closed the chart. So, what happened the next, like, the whole day after that, saw that losing 30 points. Now we are within the blue box, which was the territory for a reference point for longs. I don't like this. I really do not like this because this reference point is for the bulls, right? This trade, if this happens, I'll be more than happy to go long from this point with a good lot size. In this trade, I was forced to execute because I had to execute. That's why my lot size is low. If we fell down again because this got invalidated right from this point. You got an invalidation on the 1 minute. So it's a range. Generally, it's a range. But if we move below this point, I might add into this trade. But as of now, it's not really looking good. This range continue. We have 2 minutes left until the news is out. Okay, okay, okay. The news scandal. Can we get a second leg? Of course. Yeah. Long position. So I were to go long from this point, stop loss. 90 points. Hmm. Risk will be 60 points. Have you taken out the low of the news? Uh, we have not taken out the low of the news. Okay. No, I need to come up with proper targets, man. Of overlap. Now, we have no clue. I can take a one last chance. It's a lot of overlap between all of these bars. The first bar was a bullish, next was basically an inside bar. Let's assume the bulls support the close of this bar, putting their stop loss right around this point, which is a big stop loss. It's around 94 points. They will get out right around this point, the previous day high. So it's basically mixed signals. That's the last try I'm gonna take. And if it doesn't work out, just carry on with my day. And making this. Yeah, the cold. For me to add into this position, I need the price to close above these two white lines. These two white lines represents the monthly open. If we get a closing above the monthly open, we will be getting a closing above the 5 period moving average. 20 period moving average on the 5 minutes. 5 period moving average, so that's it. I need a closing above these two white lines. Then I'll add into my position, taking another long from this point, risking 49 points to get 49 points. Bears are trying to force bulls to get out of this position. We have two confluences. The first one being the monthly volume imbalance. The second one is this wedge sort of pattern. Gotten a complete close above the 20 period moving average on 5 minutes on the cues. Let's say this 15 minutes closed, overlap, 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 overlap. We've gotten a close within the monthly volume imbalance, getting rejected again. If it if this idea fails again, I won't fight it. I'll just leave it, man. I'm not here to fight the range. There is no point. I am buying two more here. I'm adding into my position. Six. Poles do not have a reason to get out. Get out. We have two strong Polish bars on the queues. 700. 400 दे दो भाई भाई ये बेस्ट परसेंट हाँ ठीक है पर कॉन्सर्ट कर दो कॉन्सर्ट में तुम ऐसा कॉन्सर्ट करो कि आपको यार आपको मेरे तो ये सुनिए करना इस ये गलत सब कराए है और जो कि मीटिंग ले रही हूँ मुझे खाना चाहिए मैं एक दिन के बाद दूध की बना तो नहीं कर दी तुम लोग बनाए ना मैं गाड़ी के अंदर बस मैंने शेयर कर पहले कि खुद ऐसा नहीं है मतलब मैंने क्या खाऊं बिफोर
Let's get ready. Or maybe you will get already we will have to pay last week, but last week, bro. We choose the background. Very glad we took it up. Maybe then. We can send the movement and we panel. So quickly we will the problem to make a last time. It's sponsoring. Big sponsor can first one. मतलब मतलब नाम रहता है भी नहीं कर रहे आया कि नाम का शॉर्ट है ना वो शॉर्ट में आएगा बट गंदाई है वहां पर टेक्निक को मतलब मैं ठीक तो नहीं तो हम हमें ज़्यादा दिन से लगेंगे।